Looks like we're live. And welcome, everyone. Welcome to Wisdom Wednesday. My name is Reverend Evelyn, and I have a lovely guest this evening for Wisdom Wednesday. We have Tasha Hunter, and her publication is Tasha the Writer, which I love that name. And so we are going to have a conversation about her Substack and just about her practice, and just she's got a couple books out and all these great things. Hey, Tracy. That's my friend IRL. She always comes to my lives, and I love her desperately.
Hi, Tracy.
So welcome. I was going to call you Tracy. You're not Tracy. You're Tasha.
Yeah.
Welcome to Wisdom Wednesday. I'm going to do a little bit of grounding, and then we will get right going.
Mhm.
Okay. So I like to put my feet flat on the floor, and do a little bit of breathing. So I welcome you to join me and just take some deep cleansing breaths. And if you can hear him, my grandson is in the background just making his 10-month-old sounds. So, so I'm taking a breath. So what I know is that there is only one presence, one love, one life, one law, one spirit, one mind. And I invite the presence of this spirit to be with us this evening, to hover over this gathering, to inspire this conversation. And I am so grateful for this opportunity to have a conversation with Tasha and to just learn about her and her beautiful work, and to bring the light. So with so much joy, so much gratitude, I release this word into the perfect law, which always says yes. I allow it to be so, and so it is. Amen. All righty. So welcome everyone who's joining. Thank you for popping over. And so we have Tasha from Tasha the Writer here on Substack. And you can go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us sort of about you and your publication and what you're up to.
Hi, everybody. I'm so grateful to be here. So, yeah, you can find me at Tasha the Writer. Um, I'm a learner, a teacher, a mother, a grandmother. I am doing my best to become uh, a wonderful and helpful and loving ancestor one day. So, in my professional life, I am a licensed therapist. But yeah, so that's a little bit about me, and I reside in North Carolina.
Wonderful. So, okay, so I'm having a gobsmacked black don't crack moment
Yeah.
because you said grandmother, and I
Yeah.
thought, did she have her child when she was 5? Because she doesn't look old enough to be somebody's grandmother. So, wow, that's wonderful. Yeah, so so, how have you found, getting started and publishing on Substack? Are you still a
Yeah.
practicing therapist? And how has that sort of intersected with your, publication?
Oh, yes, I'm still a therapist. Most of my work now is, I do a lot of training, a lot of, consultations and, just building community for therapists, but that is still very
Mhm,
much my day job.
mhm.
And, uh, I came up with Tasha the Writer as just the title of it because when I was, my editor for one of my editors that I love dearly, she would always, whenever she would give me feedback on my drafts, she would say, "Good job, writer. Keep going, writer."
Mm,
And so she was like just orienting to you're not just writing, you're not just a therapist, you're not, no, you're a writer.
I love that. I love
And
that.
sometimes we need people to see things that we're not really seeing yet,
Yep.
right? And so her calling me a writer, I said, "Oh, I am a writer. Yes, I write, but I'm a writer." And so my Substack is my way. I'm a therapist who often say to like the folks that I supervise that there's a very direct pipeline between growing up in an emotionally abusive home or
Mm.
other abuses, and then becoming a helper, a care worker, a caretaker, a healer. The pipeline is straight as I don't even know. Like, it's very direct. So I am a person a woman who lives in a traumatized body. And I am not just somebody's therapist. I don't want to just be out here being my professional self. I want to be Tasha, right? And so my Substack is my way to metabolize all of the things that are happening in life.
Mm. I love that. I love that. And I've never heard it put that way before about there being a straight line between being because hello, I'm also in a traumatized body.
Mhm,
And yeah, it's just
mhm,
like, you
mhm,
know, I became a prayer practitioner before I became a minister.
mhm,
And I was talking to someone who was another kind of a, spiritual practitioner person. And he said, yeah, he said, people who become prayer practitioners and like chaplains and stuff like that are people who haven't felt heard
mhm,
in their lives. And I was like, that was very unconscious of me because I didn't feel heard um, as a young person growing up. I was one of four. I was felt sort of lost in the shuffle
mhm,
in amidst the trauma.
mhm,
So
mhm,
that is, you put it so clearly. Um, and it also explains a lot about people who go into the field of therapy. All these bells are going off. And I was kind of like, oh, that tracks. That totally tracks.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, when I look at therapists and pretty almost 100% of my work is with other therapists now, whether I am providing therapy, supervising, consulting, training, that's my world. And and so I'm talking to them all day, every day, and making them aware of the things that they have survived and
Mm.
how that shows up in the therapy room, how that shows up in life. The parts of them that put everybody first, that they've learned to survive by caretaking. And then by becoming better than the people that they grew up with or the people that abused them.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. I tell you right now, you are not going to make me cry on this
Mm,
on this live. You are not going to make me cry. But oh my God, I just had a conversation earlier about those of us. So I was talking about how giving and receiving are two sides of the same coin, and that those of us, myself and the person I was speaking to, are givers, 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 people pleasers, overachievers,
mhm,
because we are afraid of the vulnerability it takes to be on the receiving end. Because giving gives you an illusion of being in control of the situation. I have the box of cookies, I'm handing them out. I'm in control.
mhm,
But when you're sitting around and you're like, gosh, I could use some cookies, and you have to raise your hand and ask, then you feel like you're betraying. Yeah, first of all, you have to admit, oh, you don't have any cookies.
mhm.
So yeah, it's just
Yeah. But also, can I add something to that?
mhm, mhm,
How many of us are not just afraid of asking for the cookies, but we don't even know that we're
exactly.
deserving, just as deserving of those cookies and anything else. Because if nobody ever gave us anything,
Mhm,
did anything kind without, like, expecting something in return,
right.
or punishing us, or berating us because they gave us something, like, there's so much. So we grow up feeling unworthy. So when I write, everything that I write, I'm like literally like, okay, there's no real agenda except for to speak honestly. Not too worried about follower counts or anything that, yeah, I don't really control. Uh, but I just want to speak from my heart and to speak from my truth and to think about, okay, who is this one person that may benefit from this? It may be another helper like me.
Mhm.
It may be another person that lives in a traumatized body.
Yeah.
So I'm speaking to my people.
Lives in a traumatized body. I have to sort of keep that. That's a beautiful thought. It's a way to hold it's a different way to I mean, even as I'm saying that, it makes me wanna hold that idea very tenderly. Um, I write about deconstruction, a faith
Mhm.
deconstruction, and a lot of people who are going through the deconstruction process is because of religious trauma.
Yep.
I am not a trauma therapist. Um, my work is really to come alongside people and
Mhm.
show them love and support and understanding. Um, but when it comes to down to the working through the trauma part, I mean, in any piece of writing where I get down to the nitty gritty, I always say, consult a therapist, mental health professional, if this is what you're dealing with. Because I don't pretend to. I mean, I know about faith deconstruction because I'm going through it, right? But I'm not going to sit here and pretend, oh, just because I know about polyvagal theory, I mean, I know this much about nervous system dysregulation. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to be like pretending that oh, just breathe and you'll be good. Just do a little box breathing. No.
Oh, can I add to that though? Can I please?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
let me just say that before colonization, like we didn't have therapists. We had community
Mhm.
and we had love. Before colonization, we didn't need the credentials and we didn't need the degree.
Right.
We didn't need the piece of paper. So healing and being able to sit beside another with their pain and being able to like offer like our own lived experience and our wisdom.
Mhm.
There are so many people that aren't therapists that know more about healing
Yes.
because it's like that's in our blood. That is in our DNA, especially for black and brown folks. It's
Yep.
in us. So the paper, throw that like if you're a
Yeah.
healer, you're a healer.
Yeah.
And
But I guess I sort of say that because it partially goes to my training, my practitioner training. Um, my minister was very careful to delineate this is practitioner work. This is prayer. This is knowing the truth for your client. This is this is coaching over here. That's no, you're coaching the client. What we want to do is point them to themselves and to, you know, realize that they can know the truth. It's like we consider ourselves standing in until that person can develop their consciousness enough. Because we don't have any special line.
okay.
It's just we have a lot of training,
Yeah.
right? Um, so I say that because there was so much. We would do mock sessions with each other,
Mhm,
and the my minister would stop us, and you're coaching the client.
mhm,
You need to if they look like they're getting ready to be unhinged or whatever,
mhm,
just have them stop and just sort of get them to be, grounded again and say, maybe this is something you want to talk about with your mental health professional.
mhm,
A 4-year practitioner training program is does not a mental health professional make.
mhm,
We are
mhm.
steeped in prayer. We are not steeped in psychology.
Oh,
So that's why I
mhm.
say that. But
Yeah,
you're absolutely right, is that what did we do before? And that whole system anyway is structured around white male, you know, constructs.
absolutely. Yes.
So, yeah.
Mhm, mhm. Who says you must have this in order to do this work.
Mhm.
And, but most of us have been doing this work as children. Those of us who are parentified, we've been helping
Yep.
people and giving advice to friends and rescuing people and just just doing it all.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's this healing thing, this sitting in, I often say to the therapist that I work with that we have to learn because you think, oh, because you're a therapist, you know how to deal with deep pain, and that's not actually true. And and so we have to learn how to be with people if people are in the valley, to be in the valley, to be in the darkness in the valley with them,
Mm.
and then help them to come up.
Mhm.
But we've got to be really comfortable with deep pain and not allow
Exactly, and
it.
not flinch. Exactly, yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah. I was just talking to a friend, who is recently diagnosed with ADHD and a bunch of other things, and has been trying to find, not a therapist, but a, psychiatrist.
Mhm,
And she had an appointment had in her mind that she wanted to get a Black woman therapist, like, that's doctor.
mhm,
And so she got an appointment with a Black woman. And it's funny, she has this thing where she doesn't like to hear people chew.
mhm,
And I realized, oh, that's actually a thing.
mhm,
It's to hear people chew sends her over the edge.
mhm,
So she gets on a video call. It's an introductory call. And what is the woman doing? She's eating a sandwich.
mhm,
Okay, first of all, unprofessional.
mhm,
Okay, but for this particular person,
mhm.
you've just lost her.
Yeah.
And she was eating and reading from a script.
Mhm,
So she wasn't looking at the person. She's reading from a script and yeah, okay. And do you do da 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 da? Okay, well then would you like to da 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 da? She wasn't like connecting.
mhm,
So she said, "Oh, I'm not going to go with her." And the next doctor she went to was a white male, older guy, like a person she thought that she would never want to deal with. But she missed the appointment, so he called her. And they
mm,
got on the call and
mhm,
he asked her questions. He asked follow-up questions to show that he was listening to her.
mhm,
And she said, I felt his concern,
mm,
at someone who had gone this long unmedicated. And, so it was just like there are people
mhm.
who just have a beautiful natural talent for getting in there. He was kind, compassionate, friendly, all the things
Yes.
that this,
Mm,
beautiful young Black woman therapist was not.
mhm,
And eating a sandwich at work
mhm.
with a client on the phone, I was gobsmacked. I was like, so yeah.
Yeah. Mm, yeah.
Well, so we talked about your books a little bit. Do you wanna mention your books that you have? One of them sounded really intriguing to me.
Yes,
The ancestral one.
yeah,
Yeah.
I have a workbook, and it is called Liberation, and I created that one because, a few years ago, I started training and having my own experiences with ancestral medicine,
Mhm.
and within the communities, what I was also noticing is, some of the harm that was happening in the ancestral medicine spaces.
Mm.
And again, and just noticing, okay, what does it mean to hold space for someone, to be a safe person when a person is in an altered state? And so I wrote the workbook um, for people, as a guide, you just, and a resource,
Mhm.
um, some things to keep in mind, um, ways that they can journal if they're if they're microdosing with psilocybin or going through ketamine assisted therapy or anything
Mhm.
that there's a resource to kind of guide the sessions, to guide integration time. And so that's been the most recent book. And then I also have um a book. It's called Tell Me Where It Hurts.
Mm.
And there's poetry and meditations and affirmations. And I didn't just want it to be a book that a person reads. I wanted readers to come along with me.
Mm.
And so there's 3 chapters. There's where we excavate the wound and really just get down there to see, okay, where are things hurting? Where is the wound? What kind of wound is it? And then the next chapter is tending to the wound. And then the 3rd chapter is healing the wound. And so those 3 chapters capture when the grief was the heaviest, when the pain was the heaviest, when relationships ruptured,
Mhm.
when, um, when my body was the most triggered, through, just being reminded of, like, painful experiences and what that was like, and so as you go on through the book, it becomes softer. It starts out like, "Oh, like, this is the pain. This is." Yeah, it's that direct, like, okay, that's where it hurts.
Mm.
And then as we go on to the end, things are softer. There's love. There's um, self-acceptance. And I'm talking about all matters of things. I'm talking about my relationships. I'm talking about the relationship with my body, and I'm talking about, faith. You talked about, like, that you specialize in religious trauma. I definitely had that experience and deconstructed. And then I'm also a Black queer woman, and so I'm
Mhm.
about also that experience. Um, and so there's spaces for those that identify with the different aspects, different poems or affirmations or just, w some of the thoughts that I have in there. There's also spaces for folks that want to journal.
Oh, there
Um,
you go. I was gonna ask
with
because
their own
all
experiences.
of that to me sounds like it's ripe for, like, journaling and
Yeah,
processing, so yeah, okay.
yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah, yeah.
Cool.
So, I'm really, really, really proud of that. Um, and again, that just kind of goes in line with how do I get out the pain? I am not the person that has the title and then only comes out with, like, the most professional stuff with my credentials on the cover, and I'm giving everybody, like, this is like everything's gonna be okay and everything's positive, and, no, the truth is that some things can't be healed. Some things there's no end date. There's no
Mhm.
Some things aren't really clear cut. And so, um, I wanted to just the way that I write for those that, like, follow me, it's just Tasha. It's just what is spirit? What are my ancestors saying, "Okay, Tasha, it's ready. Like, now's the time to speak about this thing."
Mhm.
And so that's what I'm presenting, and yeah.
So I wanna back up a little bit, and
Mhm,
as you were talking about there are some things that can't be healed.
mhm.
Can you say more about what you mean about that?
Yeah, I have a complicated relationship with the word heal.
Okay. Well, there we go. Yeah. Let's define that then. What are you how are you defining when that word? What that
Sometimes sometimes it feels as if there's an expectation that when we go through a thing,
Mhm.
that there should be this period of, like, okay, now I'm healed, now I'm evolved, now I am my most enlightened self.
Mhm.
It doesn't The thing no longer hurts. I am great. Life is great. But the truth is that, because, at least in the way that I see it, um that some things happen and we may never heal completely from them. It may always hurt. I think about my work with the majority of the people that I work with um, have survived child abuse and parental abandonment and sex trafficking and being homeless and being also like brutalized in those experiences and losing children to mass like violence and things like that. And so I don't ever present my clients this picture of, yes, it hurts today, but you're going to heal from this and you'll be okay. Like, I don't guarantee that. What I can guarantee is that no matter what they have gone through, that one, I'll be with them. They don't have to go through it alone.
Mm.
And two, the hope is that as they go through it, maybe it'll hurt, but maybe we can do enough work to where whatever they've gone through, maybe it won't take them out. Maybe it won't be the end of them because during our work and also whatever they integrate from our work, like the things that we work on, hopefully they're integrating that between our sessions.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to stop reading my mind
Yeah, but
because
yeah,
about the little bug in my ear was saying, "Ask her about integration." And so there you go. Okay, so all right,
yeah.
carry on.
I always say to my clients, like it's not just about you coming to therapy. Therapy is not just also the only way to heal. There's so many ways
Right.
to heal. And so what we work on, okay, you receive some insight when you're in your therapy appointment or with your spiritual advisor or whoever, your coach, or you get some insight. Then what we're supposed to do is leave that session and say, okay, how can I integrate what I've learned?
Mm. Yep.
I can take this insight and then I can figure, okay, how do I utilize this in my day-to-day life?
Yeah.
What needs to change? Where do I need to soften? Where do I need to open? Where do I need to rest? Where do I need to give myself a break and like love myself, like really embody love? So that is the hope. And some Mary commented and said, I feel like we're constantly healing through something on each journey at 1000%.
Mhm. Mhm.
We are human, so we're always going to be going through things, surviving something. And for some of us in this room, there have been many, many, many things that have tried to take us out.
Absolutely.
There's always something trying to take us out of this world. So we were always yeah, healing through something. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe that will change. I'm always growing and learning, but I don't know if there's a point to where it's like, oh nope, I never need like any other help again. I'm all you may not need therapy, but we will always be needing to be resourced mentally,
Yes.
physically, spiritually, emotionally. Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
kind of my stance on healing.
Yeah. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Because as a minister, as a practitioner, I am essentially an energy healer, and so I always have to sort of consider what do I mean by what do I mean by healing? Like, what is my intention,
Mhm.
and what am I communicating to my client? You know, not promising to wave a magic wand and poof,
Right.
everything is better.
That's right.
Um, but learning that, um, like for a mother who loses a child, especially in a violent situation, there's no. I don't believe there's any healing from that.
Mhm.
You find a way to move through your life,
Mhm.
but that's always going to be with you. I
Ab
don't think there's. I don't believe there would ever be a day then that wouldn't be with you.
Yeah.
Um, so. integrating, healing tools and coping with when those big emotional waves come, like on anniversaries and all those things.
Mhm,
Um, yeah.
mhm. Yeah, it's, I mentioned at the beginning that I exist in a traumatized body.
Mhm.
So a part of, like, the grief that I am healing from and will forever heal from is that there are certain things that happened to me that profoundly and forever changed. Like, there was the before Tasha,
Yep.
before the trauma, and then there's the after, but because that thing happened, I am changed. And part of the grief, when we think about grief, grief is it's the things that we lost, but grief is also about the things that we never had.
Exactly.
So so much of my grief and my trauma, it's both. It's what I lost and also what I never had.
Yep.
And so, yeah,
Ooh. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
with you. I'm with
Ooh. Yes.
yeah. So
Yes.
there are certain things.
I had a life altering experience on around my excuse me, around my 7th birthday. And that's a very pivotal developmental age, 7, turning 7. And the thing that happened changed the trajectory of the rest of my life,
Mhm,
right? And so when you talk about grieving, now this is sort of reminding me that I need to really, because in November, I started working on another stab at my memoir.
mhm, mhm,
And it was just bringing up all manner of things,
mhm,
and I wanted to write about it. And I thought, oh gosh, no, you have work to do. You can't, you have work to do on that. And, but I've never sort of thought about the before and the after and the grieving, what would have been like, what kind of a person might I have been had that not happened to me?
mhm,
But then I sort of think about that theory that, our sovereign souls choose a path,
mhm,
on this earth. And maybe, you know, my soul decided that was something that it needed to experience on this earth. I don't know. But from my standpoint, um, this is sort of reminding me that that's something that I really would benefit from going back and really letting that 6-year old, you know, let her see, let her know that I see her and that I know what happened to her.
mhm,
And, just, more, I did, in seminary, we did inner child work. And, I had this idea that we have a bunch of, there's not just an inner child, that we have a bunch of, I sort of feel like I'm holding their hand and there's a string of them.
mhm,
There's the 3-year-old me, there's the 5-year-old me, there's this, a good Lord, that's that 6-year-old me, and each of them has different needs. So, that learning about that trauma, the before and the after and grieving, that's, I think the grieving part is something with that specific situation because it was life changing.
mhm.
Um, I think that that is something I know, not I think, I know because I couldn't write about it. I was like, "Oh, no, not ready for that." So,
Mm, mm.
yeah.
I so resonate with the difficulty. When I wrote my memoir, it's called What Children Remember. Um, I, I s- I think all the time, like, should I rewrite it? Should I rewrite it? Because I've I've healed even more since then.
Mhm.
I think of things a little bit differently now. Um, and even though at the time I thought, well, I'm writing this from a healed perspective. Um, there's so much there, and it took me 4 years to write, and, I'm so grateful that I had chosen family, and I had an amazing therapist that walked me through that because it brought up everything. So like, when I think about, like, the grief during that, it was
Mhm.
thinking about I was kind of sitting with I don't know the answers, but who might I have been had I
Yeah.
if I had received love, if I had grown up being loved. And um so now I can take those experiences and what I just absolutely adore about myself is that when I go back to my 6-year-old self, my little Tasha, I can go back to her and have many times and say, "Girl, like, I love you. Like, I love you. Like, I love myself." I had to learn how to love myself in the ways that I needed to be loved, that I deserve to be loved, and it is not easy.
Mm.
But today, I don't just meet her with the grief and the tears, I meet her with open arms and, like, just full of love.
Yeah. Oh, you
Yeah,
can be that presence that she didn't have.
that's it.
That's what I strive to be able to do for my inner children.
Mm,
Um, because yeah, I mean, like you were saying, what would my life have been had I been loved?
mhm,
As a child, I wouldn't have made the, I'm gonna say, unskilled decisions that I made in relationships,
mhm,
and the things that I allowed myself to be available for,
mhm,
simply because of being starved for that
mm,
love and affection.
mhm, mhm,
Because it's a need. I mean, we need breath, we need food, we need shelter, and we need to be feel loved and accepted. And when you're a child who doesn't feel loved and accepted, who feels like they are excess, like they are taking up too much space,
mm,
then um that's not a solid foundation from which to grow a healthy human.
mm-mm. It is not, what I've learned now I'll be 47 soon, and what I've just learned now is because there were so many years of of, um, of unkindness,
Mm.
of really harsh conditions, harsh treatment, and I say this to everybody that I work with. Now we have to be the parents. Like, that is our most we have to be the parents to ourselves that we
Mhm.
always needed. We've gotta be the safety. I often say, I don't have a single person I literally don't have a single person in my life that is an unsafe person.
Yes.
I don't have a
I
single
love that.
I don't trust, that is untrustworthy. I don't have a single person in my life that I don't think that person cares about me, or I don't
Mm,
think that person likes me.
mm-mm.
I don't have that person. I have a lot of friends, I have a lot of chosen family. I have a wonderful, beautiful fiance. My daughter, my I have twin granddaughters. Like, every person in my life, it's like we're reflecting love
Mm.
to each other.
I
They're a
love that.
reflection of me. I'm a reflection of there's so much safety and care. And for folks, again, who exist in traumatized bodies, we need a lot of care. We need a lot of safety, and don't be afraid to ask for that.
Mhm.
We may need a lot of, like, validating, like, affirming, like, "Are we okay? Is it"
Mhm.
is everything we may need a lot of care, a lot of tenderness. And so my hope is that for your community, for my community that's here tonight, that you have that, and that I hope that the universe will grant you that, will bless you with that, because you deserve to be loved and cared for.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And for me, Tasha, that feels very intentional on your part. Like I just feel like I just visualize you like, okay, here's my people, and very sort of intentionally creating that, um tribe, like, a chosen tribe,
Yeah.
rather than just suffering through who you end up thrown into the batch with, you know?
Ooh, yeah. Can we talk for a minute about how I became a therapist?
Absolutely. I'd love to hear that.
I was in therapy and my therapist said, she said, "I want you to write down a list of people that's in your life right now." I said, "I got a lot of people. I got a lot of people in my life." And she said, "Write them down." And I said, "Okay." And she said, "What would happen as you go through each of the names? What would happen if you said no to them? Would they still be in your life?" And that list got shorter and shorter. And I said, "Nope."
Nice.
And she said, "Tasha," she said, "my home was like the safe haven. If somebody was going through DV, if they were, having a hard time, my home, I've always created a sanctuary for people. Creating the thing that I most needed was a
Yep.
sanctuary."
Oh,
And she said, "You do my job and you do it for free." And as the universe, was just speaking to me, she was maybe the 10th person that said, "It's like you've got therapist written on your forehead. Like people would call me like, Tasha, you're my," but I wasn't a therapist. I was in
right.
a completely different career field. And I thought, oh, well, maybe that's where I'm supposed to be, because in the prior career field, I was feeling like like my life had no meaning really.
Mm,
Like I wasn't doing enough for humanity. And so then I went back to school and became a therapist. So I had a lot of years of being taken advantage of being the person that, you hear people say, "Oh, this person will give the shirt off their back. They'll give
yeah.
their last dime." That's not healthy.
No.
But I was that person because I was
Yes.
afraid of losing people. I was afraid. It wasn't that I was so kind. It was that, let me give you what I hope that if I'm in this situation, somebody,
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
let me give you what nobody ever gave me. Let me give, maybe if I show up for you this way for you, maybe you won't leave. Maybe you won't reject. Maybe you
Never
won't
works.
abandon. It
Never
doesn't
works.
work. So I learned that in my 30s, thanks to therapy.
Yeah.
Thanks. I'm so grateful. And now, all these years later, I'm very boundary. I'm very clear on like my energy and my why and how I show up for people.
Mhm.
And now, like I always wanted healthy community. And it's a lonely road sometimes to get there,
Yes.
but I'm there now. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Yeah. Creating intentional community is so critical. And yeah, I have a very, very small circle for that reason. And, I had to leave a toxic relationship, because and it's funny, as I was leaving and then healing from that, I realized that, it takes two to be toxic, right? So I had to then learn about, oh, so what was your contribution to um, that was one of the, when I was in seminary, we had, I think it was called relationship something, where we had to fill out this form that had a bunch of questions where it probably, I would think that it maybe stemmed from an interview, but, you just read the question and the answer. And I just realized, like, I've been saying that this relationship is toxic, but oh my goodness, look at all the things I did. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
so all because of the little tricks and shenanigans that I would have to pull to get my needs met because I was I felt unloved, unseen, uncared for, from childhood. So because if you come into a situation like that, looking for that one, you can't expect that one person is going to do all that for you. One person's not going to come in and go, or like rub some Vaseline on it and everything's going to be all good. No.
Mm, mm,
And so when I saw that I wasn't, even after all of the saying yes to everything and making sacrifices, my needs still weren't being met,
mm.
you know.
Mm. Uh,
So yeah,
so many thoughts. I was like, "Oh, man, we could talk for another 3 hours." Mm. That point that you just made about, like, expecting one person,
yep.
looking for the one person in our lives, maybe the one person that we're closest to meet all of our needs,
Oh,
when they really don't even know how to meet their needs. And, I will often say, to my clients to, like, diversify your issues, like we d
exactly.
like, and know, okay, um, one person can't hold and can't do all the things for us. So we have to have different people. That's the beauty. I'm almost tired of the word community, but we really do need people. We need multiple people to love us and care for us and to show up, right? And then we reciprocate that.
Yeah,
We don't just take and take and take, but we reciprocate that. But not one person can't do every single thing. And so we have to know, okay, who is really good on with this issue? Oh, and this person is really good with helping out in this way, or they know how to do this thing. So diversifying
hmm,
um our needs or our issues is really, really important so that we don't build resentment when the one person can't do everything.
yep, exactly.
And project all of that neediness and maybe codependency on that person.
Yeah, and the neediness and the codependency, what does it do? It repels.
Mhm,
It repels. So,
mhm,
yeah. So those are all very costly lessons, but I feel like very liberating, right? Because I saw the continuation of the pattern, like the inattentive father. And so, now I am a anxious avoidant, in relationships. So
mm,
it's like now I have all of this like intellectual knowledge, right, about these kinds of things. I can dissect, oh, here's where it went wrong. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? So now I feel like it's a beautiful time for me to then integrate that
mm,
by actually, you know, interacting with someone in a healthy relationship, you
mm,
know? So I gave up on that because I guess I wasn't as healed as I thought I was because I just was then attracting different kinds of unhealed people. So
yeah,
it's like,
yeah, yeah,
but yeah, it's beautiful to I guess I sort of felt that I in some way redeemed the that sunk cost fallacy, right? Where I kept staying because I thought I had invested so much time, right? Um, but I guess now I realize that these are all just lessons, right? This is all just we come here to this earth, we bump up against people, we
mm.
learn lessons, and we keep moving.
Yeah, yeah. I find too that when it comes to the business of loving ourselves and loving another person,
Mhm,
again, those of us that have survived some things and maybe we exist in a traumatized body,
mhm,
we may desire and know that we need love. Like I need love, like I need oxygen.
mhm,
So, and most people do. Um, but we don't always know how. It's the how to love. And so that is very much a practice.
mhm,
And not everybody's equipped to actually learn how to love. How do you need to be loved? How do because your needs are different than my needs. How do I love myself at the same exact time? Um, but how and it really is a practice. Um, I can see now when I think about the relationships that I was in the past, um, where I didn't really love myself. I wanted love and I was interested in finding out like how to love, but I didn't really know how. I mean, so I kept reading books and I kept listening and I just kept putting myself in healing environments and I just kept asking, okay, what does it mean to love myself? We talk about that a lot, but what does that actually in practice? What does that mean? And if I am going back to your example of like being in these kind of toxic relationships and
Uh-huh.
whatnot, where love definitely wasn't being served. If I say I love myself, then I won't let another person disrespect and wound me.
Right.
I won't let a person make a fool out of me. I won't let another person talk to me crazy.
Yep.
And I won't show up in that way, right?
Right.
I won't do those things. Um, and so, but it was a practice. Sometimes I ended up staying in relationships because I was insecure and I thought, well, nobody else is gonna want me. What if this is my only
I would
opportunity?
have no idea what that's about.
What if
I personally,
nobody
I would
else
have no
would
idea what
love
that's about.
What if this is my only opportunity? Like, I
Yes.
have to settle here because I may not get
Of
another
the 8
chance.
billion other living beings on this planet, this is my one chance.
This is my one I really I believe hope I believe this is my one chance to be loved. I'm a little black girl. I'm originally from Arkansas and grew up in the country and and I spent the first 20 years of my life, not one person ever told me I was loved.
Wow.
So I was like any so then as an adult, when somebody finally said, "Oh, like I love you, I want to be with you," I was like, "Okay, this is
Yep.
my one chance."
Yep.
And I was wrong. We learn as we get older that it doesn't matter if they want me, it's do I want them?
Exactly.
Is this
Yeah, I love those social media memes where, a dad has his, like, 3 or 4-year-old daughter, and he's, like, walking her and they're, like, walking by the Eiffel Tower, and the caption is, like, "POV, spoiling my little girl so she won't be hoodwinked by your dusty son,"
That's
you
it.
know?
That's it.
Because it's true, you know? So, I
Yeah.
mean, this yes, you and I could have this conversation for 3 more hours because this is just insane. But beautiful, beautiful conversation. So I don't remember if you said your books are available on your Substack, page.
I don't even know. I really
Okay,
maybe if you go to my homepage, hopefully it's there. I think I at least have a photo, I think, um,
okay.
something in my bio,
So
but
where are they available?
they are available everywhere. I would love if you're interested in buying the book, buy it wherever you're comfortable buying it.
Mhm.
But also, I am a huge supporter of small indie bookstores, like order
Okay,
them,
okay.
bookshop.org. If you wanna use Amazon because it's like, it's quick for you, it doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah.
get it wherever you want. It's both books, all of the books that I spoke of, whether it's Liberation or Tell Me Where It Hurts or What Children Remember,
Mhm.
you can get those anywhere. And so, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, if so, what I typically do with people who have books is if you send me the links, um, I can put a link to where people can get them under the replay.
Okay.
So then, well, Tasha, this has been a beautiful conversation, and I can see that we may have to have another one.
I would love to. I'm okay
um,
with it. Yeah.
yeah, but thank you so much for being here, for sharing your wisdom, and just for the work that you do in the world and supporting people and all that. Um, it's just been lovely. So thank you for everyone who was here. Hey, Netafe. and everyone who joined us. And yeah, so enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks so much. And yeah, I'll see you next time.
Thank you so much. Everybody go love yourselves. Do something sweet and kind for yourself.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you.
Thank you.